Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's early today, 10:30, so I'm moving into my new place. This is it. I'll show you real quick. How do I turn this around? This is it. So it's a little smaller because we're moved down in the city. Check out Cud, she's getting used to it. Pretty sweet view out there. Anyways, I'm very excited. But because I'm moving, I'm taking an hour break and I wanted to make sure I got Hoerner happy hour in. I'm really excited to talk about repurposing old profiles. You guys seem to really want to know more about that. So if we want to get more detailed, I can do a part 2 of this if you guys have a lot of questions. But I do talk a lot about this in the Cycle Poet method. There's actually a whole module dedicated to how to repurpose old profiles. So I can't go into a ton of detail. Because it takes a long time. I mean, I think that's like a 30-minute video. So I'm going to give you snippets. And a lot of this is related to how you sort your music and how you sort your playlists and all that stuff. Which, if you use Spotify, remember I have that course out. Both the CPM and the Spotify links are in the comments if you want to learn more. Otherwise, you can just listen to little snippets. So repurposing. So it took me years to come up with a system that works for me. It's going to be the same for you, unfortunately. Even if you've been teaching for maybe 30 years, which I know some of you have, we always are honing our profiles, right? Because we're always changing how we create our classes. At least should be, if you want to keep things spicy. So a few tips I will have for you today. First of all, songs are a big piece of it, right? So you're always matching the music to the profile you create. Here's what I do, and you can take it or leave it. I use Google Sheets. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically an Excel document that's accessible from anywhere. So Google Sheets is like Google Docs. You can open it up online. So I like it because if I'm using my laptop or if I'm on my phone or if I'm on my desktop, I can always access whatever playlist I'm working on. So I use Google Sheets to create my playlists, and then I dig into, create my profile. Then I dig into sort your music, and I find songs that work right with the BPMs that I want to use, put them in there. So when I'm done, my Google Sheet has my whole profile laid out, what I'm going to do with each song, the timing of each song, the song that I'm using, and all that detail so that I can save it and reference it later, because I can search Google Sheets by, certain terms or certain songs. Very helpful. Highly recommend it. If you don't have a system for creating your profiles and you just create a new one every time and then trash it or whatever, you're gonna need to change that if you want to learn how to repurpose, because we have to be able to dig back into old stuff to get inspiration, to get ideas. It's really important. So the other thing that I do in terms of repurposing, again, this is all sort of focused around organization, right? You have to have everything organized to be able to repurpose, because you have to dig back through and kind of figure out how you want to use things. So the other thing I do, and I talk a lot about this in my Spotify course, is I organize my playlists and my folders in Spotify in a way that is going to help me build my playlists. So if if you're new to this, I know that's super overwhelming. You're not about to go back through every single song and playlist you've ever used and recategorize it. Well, you could. That's what I did. Took a while, worth it. But you could, from this point on, every time you create a playlist, go back through and pick out all those songs and organize them into new folders, maybe based on BPMs or RPMs, maybe based on genre. However you build your playlists and build your profiles, that's how you want to organize your songs, so that you can go back and find, oh, I remember when I used that song, I loved it, or I haven't used this in a while, I definitely want to use it again, or maybe I used this yesterday, I want to use it again in a totally different way. So that's another thing, another tip. Lots coming at you right now, guys. I'm trying to do it, trying to give you as much as I can. So mixing and matching. So often I know I personally, and not everyone will agree with this, I do a new playlist for every class. That's mostly because I get bored. I don't think that's necessary. I do think you always need some new stuff. We can't just do the same playlist every single class. I mean, you could. I personally think that's a little bit lazy. If your riders are okay with it, then have at it, but I always do a different playlist for every class. So mixing and matching is really cool. So I like to, and when I talk about that, I mean your songs and your profile. So often I'll use the same song if there's a new song that I really like, but I'll do something different with it in the next class. Or maybe I'll wait a week and then use it again. Vice versa, maybe I did a drill that I really loved and I'll use a new song for it, but do the same drill. So keep in mind that you can use the same profile or pieces of the same profile and just mix up something else about it, like the song or vice versa, and then it seems like a new class to them, but you kind of know how to do it already. You've already done the work. You're just repurposing, mixing and matching. So like I said, organization in terms of Google Sheets or however you write your profiles. Spotify organization is key. If you use Apple Music, same thing. Very important. Having a way to categorize things so that you're not digging through just one big library of songs every time. You really want to have some sort of system down. I personally have multiple systems, so I have genres, I have RPMs, I have all that jazz. I have a lot of special folders, I call them, which I talk about in the course that I use. But whatever you do to build your playlists and your profiles, that's how you want to organize your songs. Think about it like if you were going to write another playlist or another profile right now, what would help you? If you had like a bucket of songs that were, beats or remixes, would that be helpful for you? If you had a bucket of songs that were, 80 to 90 RPMs, BPMs based on that, would that be helpful for you? Probably, right? Because then you could go in there and sort by maybe time. Maybe you're looking for a song in that BPM range that's a certain time. I do that all the time, especially when I have one song left to fill and I need to hit a certain time limit, and I need it to be a certain BPM or RPM, I need to have that organization down. Otherwise, it's going to take me forever. So I use all that in conjunction with Sort Your Music, which is that Spotify app we talk about all the time. If you don't know it, Google Sort Your Music. You'll see it just shows you all your RPMs, BPMs. It shows you a bunch of different categories of the music, the energy, the volume, all that piece of everything. So it's really helpful. I can link it as well. If anyone doesn't know it, let me know. I'll put the link in there. What else haven't I told you yet? I think that was it. I went very quickly, very, very quickly. So make sure you go back and watch the recording over if you missed the first piece of this. Again, I could talk about repurposing in vivid detail. I have in CPM and in Sort Your Music, in my Spotify course. I give it all those details relevant to those pieces. So if you guys have questions, ask them. If they're in those courses, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I can help you through it. But there's a lot to it, and it is kind of a unique thing that you have to learn. So I kind of already talked about what I do. Feel free to use that if it helps you, and then kind of create your own way as you go once you figure out what's helpful for you and what, the way that you creatively work, right? Because this is a creative process and we're all a little different. So let me know if you have any questions on that, guys. And if you need more details on any of it, let me know. We can dig in a little deeper. Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.